Mark, it was tight, it was cagey. Finishes 1-0 to Gillingham. Just sum up your feelings right now.
Yeah, we're buzzing. Let's have it right. We're relieved, firstly, because we've needed a win. And today was always going to be a tough one to win. But the fact that we beat a team 1-0 who are unbeaten in 10 or whatever it is, 2 back-to-back manager of the months, they're absolutely flying. Built a gap so that they're still top. You know, they've had an incredible run. And they had a really good chance second half. But other than that, we've given nothing, absolutely nothing. I thought without the ball we were absolutely brilliant. Our pressing intensity in the first half an hour was just class. And in the end we had some really good spells of control without creating loads in a few of those moments. Substitutes, excellent impact in the game, and even in the end didn't feel like we were hanging on. We were holding the game really. And so yeah, we're absolutely delighted. And overall, huge credit to the staff, huge credit for the players. Because the best thing I can say is after a run that we're on, we haven't looked like a team that's on that run at all. We've been proper at it, and yeah, they deserve it. Everyone deserves that winning feeling again. It's been too long. But it puts us in a really nice position really after a horrible run, third of the season gone. We'd have taken this at the start. We wouldn't have taken it after the first 6 weeks because we wanted more than we've had. But we've come out the right side of it today, and I'm absolutely delighted with the result. I'm really happy to see Jaden Clark head a ball.
Absolutely, yeah, and to score a goal with it as well. You mentioned the manner in which we won the game. I don't recall Jake Turner making a save against a side who recently have been scoring goals frequently.
Yeah,
so the manner of the win makes you just as happy.
I think so. There were 1 or 2 little entries in the first half. One where they've appealed for a penalty that the ref swayed away, and the second one I think is a good chance. He hasn't had to make a save, but they'll be kicking themselves for not making better use of it. So we're really pleased with that. We're pleased with some of our approach play. I thought in the first 30 minutes of the half they then killed it a little bit with a few stoppages and turned control of the game really after probably half the half. The first half was probably us, first half of the first half, them second half of the first half, and in either period no one really created so many chances. But our build-up play was very good. Our threatening moments to get to the top end was very good, and then we just lacked a little bit of either spark or physicality in a few moments to really hurt them, which we had as the game went on in the second half. The changes, you see a bit of a difference that you get when Josh is there as a target. It made a big difference for us. That was helpful. But the lads run themselves into the ground, and yeah, I love that for them.
Lovely. Mark, thank you. Ben, Wheels.
Mark, it wasn't a classic. Maybe it was a 0-0 game and you won it 1-0. I suppose you don't really mind how you win it.
No, I thought we were good, so I don't really care what anyone else thinks if it's classic or not. We pressed brilliantly. We worked really hard to limit their chances against a team that have beat everyone. We played some lovely football in the early part, freeing up our holding midfield player, getting the wing backs jumping higher up the pitch, getting into crossing positions but not quite using them. And there's been so many good bits, but not enough in terms of continued bits over the last few weeks. And there's a team developing there nicely with all of the challenges and changes that we're constantly making. So yeah, I don't care that it wasn't a classic at all. I thought we were good. I thought we were worthy of the win, and I think it's a huge result against a team absolutely flying, and everyone will look at their phones and everyone would have come today thinking, I hope we win, but no one would have given us a chance. And huge credit to the lads for finding that level, finding that performance, sticking together when people lose a bit of faith. It's easy to do that, but they haven't, and yeah, it's a huge result for us, and we'll be so much stronger for it. And the fact that we get it, and now we don't have a really busy period of league games, is excellent for us, I think.
I thought the crowd were noisy as well, and even in that second half, when obviously you're not attacking the Rainham end, it felt like they sort of kept you going and knew how important they could be to help get you the result.
Yeah, in moments. I think when we're at our best, certainly in the first half an hour, it was brilliant going that way. And then second half, when there's a period where we're 1-0 up, there's 20 minutes to go, I want a bit more, if I'm honest. Like, they'll want more from the team and I want more from them in their moments. I could hear a pin drop in certain situations. You think, come on, if we're going to do this, let's do it together. Like, we've got to be a rowdy bunch all the time. And so that's what we've got to do. So there's me after 1 win in 8 giving it a little bit, but I'm proud of the players, I'm proud of the supporters, and I'm pleased for them, because it's horrible when you turn up and you're not sure what your team's going to do when you don't get a result. And they've stuck with us really well through this period. So those that have and have kept backing it and can see that there's something building, know we're struggling a little bit in a few situations, we've got to thank them because they've been magnificent. And just like I keep thinking, right, I want to push this team to get more, I want to push these individuals to get better, I want to push these fans to be the best atmosphere in the league, regardless of the numbers that are here, from start to finish, whatever's happening on the pitch. That'll be class for us if we can do that. And in moments like this, when you have tough runs and you get through them, which I told you on Thursday we will, we didn't know when, but we will get through it because there's too many good people for us not to get through it, you become stronger and you build better connections and more resilience as a club, as a team, as a fan base and connection with the team. So that will be the outcome of this, and the key will be how we then respond in the weeks ahead.
You had to be cute, I guess, in the way you create chances because they're so solid at the back, because they've got big guys at the back, and you went with the two kind of nippy forwards, and some of the crosses just happened to be a little bit more intricate than just, loading it in sort of thing.
Yeah, our crossing areas in the first half, we got to those areas well, but if you can't cross early before they're set, then it becomes really difficult if you go for a high cross because they're absolute monsters. So really difficult for us. So we got our crossing zones, actually, we wanted more from maybe Maxwell Hutz setting it back to Ewan Williams, Ethan Coleman, Armani Little, almost in the corner of the box. So we changed the angle of the cross. We didn't do that enough in the first half. And then for the first 20 minutes of the second half, it's a bit of a dead heat, really. Not a lot happened in the game. And we knew we couldn't twist too early on a couple of the changes, so we had to bide our time, really, waiting for Josh Andrews' time, really. And then that really helped us when we did that. So, certainly bits that, like in any game, you'd want to do better, but today is not the day to talk about it, and neither's tomorrow. We'll get back to work Monday and get a team ready for Tuesday Stevenage, but to have a little break in the league again will be good for us. And if we'd have not got a positive result today, that would have been like a long time for us to wait. So I'm really pleased with that result, and I'm really pleased with how everybody, when you do stick at it and stick together, which I think there has been very well, the whole club, the players, the staff and the supporters, that's a super strength, really. We need to keep building on that.
And the subs bench looked strong before the game, and they all made an impact, didn't they? I think Ethan Coleman's role might even go under the radar a little bit, coming on from Armani Little, who you wouldn't have wanted to have to take off, but then obviously Andros cameo and Jayden Clark getting the winner.
Yeah, the boys that came on did really well. Obviously Josh came on half hour into the game. Thought Armani was brilliant at the time, and he's I don't know how bad, but he's done his hamstring, so that's a real loss for us. You saw like the legs and energy that he played with, that Timmy played with on the opposite side, that the front two gave us early on, and that the two wing backs gave us. Really aggressive, which I loved, and it was a shame for us with Armani because Ewan was getting some nice bits of control in the game as well, so that becomes quite difficult. And you make almost two changes in one because you change position as well. But he did very well when he came on and gave us a nice security in the game. And everyone that did come on had an impact, and that is what you're hoping for. We put Jayden in a position he hasn't really played for us. But we wanted pace there because we thought we could threaten them, and we knew we were going to get a target up there as well and play with Jack in behind. So we flicked about a little bit, formations, to make sure without the ball we were brilliant, which we were. And yeah, we weren't huge creators of massive chances in the game, but who cares today, really?
And Tuesday, thoughts on that one in terms of?
I have none right now, if I'm honest with you. Forgive me. We will pick a team to try and win the game. Lots of the boys that didn't play will play. The squad's the squad, so yeah, everyone will be coming, and we'll try and go and win the game, knowing that we haven't got a game next week. But having not had this moment for a while, and for everybody, now isn't the time really to over-evaluate that performance or think about the next game whatsoever. We're going to have a beer and enjoy that one first.
We'll definitely enjoy that. One thing I would say about Tuesday is at least there is something on it, in the sense that you can get through because of that result. Yeah,
I think truth is, when we walked off the pitch here last time, we thought, oh, that's a dead rubber of a game, but it isn't. So yeah, that's great for us to have something on it. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it, if we could go and do that? That would be like kamikaze stuff. I'd love that. So we'll try, but we're obviously going to play against a really good side that they'll make changes, I'm sure, but they're still strong. So when that comes around, we'll have a quick meeting today, staff, before we leave, to try and get a bit of a plan together for Monday, Tuesday, and yeah, we'll go and give it a good go when we go there.
Enjoy tonight.
Thank you.
Is it all about the relief or the joy today?
It's never joy, really, for a manager, if I'm honest with you. It's joy for everyone else, and I love that, but it is relief, really, because the within 40 minutes of the game finishing, I get asked about the next game, and that's like the truth. And you just go, back off, guys. Let me enjoy this one for a few hours. When you lose a game, people still want to talk about it 5 days later. When you win one, they want to talk about the next game within half hour. So, you don't get much joy in this. You do get lots of relief. I'm relieved for everyone, really, because when you're building something, it's going to take time for us here, and we know that. And there's quite a bit of change happening. There is times where you just got to stick at it. And part of growing and building something is it goes wrong quite often, and you have to get through that. So your relief is a win keeps people sticking at it. Like, can you imagine what would be being said if we didn't get that today? You know the game works. So just being able to keep going through that and stepping back and going, the run of results is rotten, but we're a third of the way through the season. We're 4 points off second position in the league. We're not in such a bad position, and by the time we go out into the next league game, I hope to have a few others available to help us.
And throughout the run, you've said that the team have still been at it, proper at it, you said. I mean, has it been easy for them to keep the faith? They've never sort of worried or anything like that?
Anyone that says they've never worried would be lying, because it's really natural to worry and think, where's the next win coming from, or all those bits. And when you get, we went ahead 3 in 4 games and didn't win them. We've conceded in the literally last kick of the game. So when those things happen, it's a kick in the whatsits every time it happens. So you start to think, when's this going to happen? But if I'm honest, there's been a feeling and a thought process throughout the whole week that today could be a really good day. Because where does that come from? It comes from gut reaction, which comes from experience, which comes from knowing the lads, knowing where they are, knowing how they've coped and worked throughout the week. Staff have been class preparing the players, meetings that we've had, players have been really engaged in the work. Players are disappointed if they're in or out the team, but they play, train, behave properly. That's how you build a really good team. So I'm really, really pleased with that professionalism and togetherness, and that only grows on days like today. So it's an important one for us.
On Thursday, you mentioned about how you're getting a lot of players back from injuries, so to see Armani go down so early must have been like, go on, give us a break.
I think we said that Thursday, didn't we? You always think about, look who's coming, and then that happens, and there's no shock. That is what happens. So we'll have to be, please God, it's not too bad. But it didn't look great because instantly he knew, so he had to literally come off. So we won't know that for a few days yet, and that's a real shame because he is the epitome of what we want our team to be about, really. So yeah, we do miss him when he's not there, but we'll just see how that plays out.
I think he tried to make a tackle with his head, wasn't it? The last thing he did.
Yeah, like I say to the lads sometime in training when they do things like that, if you're not going to try, go in. It's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek one, because that is the effort level of body on the line that they make. And I remember John Terry doing that once in a cup final. It reminded me of it right in front of me. There's a few that need to get some studs because it's getting slippy out there. There's a lot of players slipping over today, so we've got to that point. But really unfortunate for him, but he is brave as a lion, that boy.
And Jaden Clark gets the win. I think that's his 5th. You mentioned he got the header as well.
Yeah, no, great, really, really good. Closed his eyes and it hit him, so that was perfect. It was great. And for us, fast restart, Jack Nolan, Connor Masterson high up the pitch to cross the ball. It's like you wouldn't set up that as a pattern, but we asked the boys to try and find moments where they can get the game going quickly while the team's disorganised. They did that really well a few times today. And so, yeah, brilliant moment for him. And he just continues improving and getting better and, proving some people wrong. He's a really good player. He's really talented, and he should never relent on trying to get better, which sometimes he does. And if he does that and stays focused and wants to push, he could do really well.
And you had the choice between the keepers, always a tough one. Jake got the nod, and he didn't have a lot to do today.
No, he didn't really. More probably with his feet than anything else, to be honest. When we used him or when we built through him, and he did some good bits there, but didn't have so much to do. And yeah, like I say, we've got some really good players there. You look at our bench, made the point, there's some strength on that bench, and there's an argument any one of them could say I should be starting in that team, and they're right. And that's where you want to be, because soon we'll have 4 or 5 coming back that'll be saying the same thing. So that creates competition. If we can get to that point, then happy days.
They're still on course. Still on course to come back.
Yeah, nothing's changed. Hopefully Harrogate will give us a chance to see a few involved, hopefully.